Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Doodle Robot and today I'm going to give you a tour of my minimalist color swatch book. I did this about 3-4 years ago. I can't remember how long. This is the original setup though. Nothing has changed. I haven't changed the cover. It's still like the 50-cent thing I bought at Walmart back when I lived in the middle of nowhere. I haven't changed the little, what are those called? The little plastic page protector things. It's all the same, but I've been on this big kick where I'm kind of remaking over the studio. I finally bought a drill so I can hang my shelf. That is not yet hung yet, but I've been making some other changes around my little studio room. So it's underway. It's less scary than it was yesterday. So today it's looking a little bit better. Hopefully today, tomorrow I can hang my shelf. We'll see. Fingers crossed. That means I have to like completely take apart my desk and move that out of the way and fix where the shelf fell off the wall and then hang the shelf. So it's not as simple as it sounds. It's kind of a big project, but let's get on with this. In future videos, I'm hoping to finish up my 2024 year in review and do my top 10 favorite pages colored for last year. So weird to say last year. And I think I'll probably do 2023 as well in that same video. I didn't get to do it in 2023 because everything was in boxes. So, and I'm also looking forward to, I promised Soraya that I would do some sort of video about my altered pages. And I was going to do all of my altered pages, but that just seems like a monumental task because there's like, I pretty much alter most of them. Usually just in little ways, which I wouldn't show those, but I think I might do like my top 15 or 20 altered pages. We'll see, just to make it less of a Herculean task. But let's get on with the tour of my swatch book, and I'm going to talk about things that I don't regret buying and things that I do regret buying. So hopefully you might not make the same mistakes I did. Excuse me. I think I've been having such allergies lately. All right, so I've changed it around a bit, and I've recently condensed some things and re-swatched a few things, but I did it this way so that I don't have to like re-swatch every single thing in the book when I change my mind or get new stuff or edit out old stuff, whatever the case may be. And I tend to be more of a minimalist. I like to get one product that I like and can use over and over and over again. So we'll talk about that as we go through. So up first is, this is a satin. I used to do more satin glazing liquid where I would prep the page with satin glazing liquid, and then you can do water-based markers on top of it. They work like watercolors when you do that. Or I could do watercolor on top of it, which works great. In my Blick cart and my Amazon cart both, I have watercolor ground, which I'd really like to get and try. Haven't got there yet, but I'm kind of in a low buy mode. I'm just not in the mood for shopping these days. So I have my test page because you can't waste that. There's still room to go there. I have inventory sheets here. I've got Prismacolor inventory, Tombow inventory. There will be more inventory sheets here as I go through my makeover of my studio. I want to keep accurate inventory. There are some things I want to use up and probably never buy again. Some things I want to use up and replace them with a more consistent system, which we'll talk about as we go through. This is part of my Prismacolor swatches. I find myself not using it a lot, so I relocated it to the back here. I can pull it out as I need to, but I've kind of got all my lights here. These are by color, basically, color family. So yellows, I've got yellow, oranges, and oranges, reds, pinks. There's some overlap too, like some of the colors in yellow will appear here in the yellow oranges. That way, if I'm stuck on something, coming up with a blend, I can quickly look at what my options are and, you know, see about a blend. We got the purples, we got the blues, we got the greens. We got, blue greens. We got greens. There's a lot of greens. We've got the two of the gray sections that they have, and the last gray section that they have is right there. This is my browns and earth tones. And so I've had that for ages and ages. Very useful at times. But I find myself not using it too much lately. And I've just got this so it doesn't move all over the place. Makes it a little bit easier. Oh, oops. All right, we'll do that in a second. This page is also glazed, done with satin glazing liquid, because I noticed, these are my Hoo-Hoo water-based markers. When I do them on top of the satin glazing liquid lightens pretty much anything you put on top of it. And I have several videos on satin glazing liquid back in the day, like 3 years ago when I was doing that a lot. I want to kind of get back to that because there are some books I specifically bought so I could treat the page and then watercolor on top of it. I'd like to get back to that since I have a massive watercolor collection now. So yeah, so they get considerably lighter. So like here's 82, here's 82. It's much lighter than it appears here. So we got light, medium, dark, 1 coat, 2 coat, 3 coats. So that just gave me much needed information. I would say that I like the Hoo-Hoo water-based markers. That was a great purchase, one of my first purchases. I don't regret that at all. Back in the day when I got it, well, we're talking nearly 4 years ago, I think only 3 or 4 of them are gone because they got used up, but that's a good run, I would say. There are other products I'll talk about that are not good like this. The only problem with this set is it's all like mid-range tones. It lacks lights for sure, drastically lacks lights. It also lacks some darks as well. So now in my last haul, which was part of a robot report, because I've been making little hauls, like I said, I haven't really been into the whole purchasing things. I did purchase during the Christmas sales. I got 3 new sets of 10 Tombos, and so I printed out the Tombow sheet, and I love them. They're awesome. I really like Tombos because I like the color palette. They have really good lights all over the place. And after I did this, and sorry for the glare, but there's 1 coat and then there's 2 coats, so I can see the difference on my swatches. But after I did this, I went to Blick because I'm like, gosh, I really like this palette. I mean, I've said that before, but it's got lights, it's got grays, so you can make a lot of the muted colors, the Mirandai colors. Just put a gray and then put the color on top, and you should have a nice muted color. This may be, I'm thinking this may be my go-to thing. Like once all these are used up, I'm not going to replace that. I just want one set that's consistent, that's kind of open stock, and I can just replace as I need to. I like that better. On Blick, just yesterday, day before, if you buy 12 or more, I think they were $2.56 individually, which seems very reasonable for getting a nice color palette. I plunked them all in my cart, so they're there. I haven't pushed purchase yet on the missing ones, but I may do that in the future. The other water-based marker set that I have is the Hoo-Hoo Skin Tones, which were a great addition, complementary addition to this set here. I really like them. I like the Hoo-Hoos and the Tombos because they have the brush nib. One of the things I'm getting rid of I'm kind of doing my whole house too. So there's a pile that's going to go to Goodwill or some such store. One of the things I am going to get rid of because I just don't reach for are the Colors of the World Crayola crayons. Now, I don't really care for the fine liner ones as they pretty much just tear up all the paper. The broadline nibs were fine, but I just don't find myself reaching for them because they're such a fat marker. So they really don't work for me. So those did not make the cut. They're not really a regret. They were fine. You know, they were super cheap at Walmart. I just saw them at Walmart and I'm like, oh, I want to try those. But once I got the Ahuhu skin tone, I find myself always reaching for those because of just the brush nib on them. Whereas this nib is not quite, you know, as easy to work with. They're fine. Crayolas do great. I've used them on a couple of pages. But if given a choice, I'm going to choose one from here just because of the nib. So they still work, but they're going to go to Goodwill. Some little kid will get lucky or something for those. So that's one of the things that didn't make the in my my studio makeover. It's not making the cut. It's going to go bye-bye. So that is my entire water-based marker collection. Up next we have the color pencils. Now I did redo, I don't think I saved this to show you, did I? No, I did. I did redo my Prismacolor swatches because when I started coloring, I used to keep inventory on here in pen. Like, what? That's hilarious. Did not think that through. That quickly became like, oh, I'm blowing through these pretty quickly. So I redid it this time. Didn't take very long, but I wanted a nice, cleaner look, you know, just less chaotic. I prefer that minimal aesthetic. Prismacolor, in my opinion, best color pencil ever created for craftspeople, I guess. Now, they probably have some light fast issues if you're going to use them professionally. I don't think most professionals probably use them for that because of the light fast issues, but for those of us who keep our work just closed, totally fine. Love those. My Crayola colored pencils, I got the 120 set way back in the day. I added the Colors of the World set and the metallics. Now, do I regret buying Crayola colored pencils? Sort of. I mean, I'm an art teacher, so I knew what I was getting in my classes in the high school level. In the beginning and across America, art teachers love Crayola pencils. In the beginning classes, they get to use Crayola. Intermediate, advanced, and AP drawing and painting classes, they get to use the Prismacolor. But for, you know, because if you drop Prismacolor on the floor, we have very limited budgets in America. They're like strangling education out the window. I mean, it's going down the drain. You have to use your money wisely. So I'm not going to give the football player who signed up for art to get his fine art credit because he didn't want to take choir. He doesn't play an instrument. He definitely doesn't want to take drama. So they take art to get their fine art credit, graduate. You know, I'm not giving them a Prismacolor to throw around the room and stuff like that. You know, kids are hard on things. Also, I think if you can learn to blend, and I teach them in beginning art how to, they have to do the color wheel and all that. If you can blend your colors and do a nice blend with a Crayola color pencil, any other pencil, that's doable, and you can do a nice job with it. But if you can master that, when I give you any other pencil, you're good. you're a great color blender after that. So I knew what I was getting. The only thing was, I bought the 120 set. I pushed by. I went out of town. I had to go to, 5 hours away to Phoenix to visit relatives. There was a death in the family. And I was staying with my cousin whose sister had passed away, I don't know, some years before. And she had a couple of coloring books and a 50-pack of Crayola crayons, which she gave me when I was there. And I'm like, I just bought the 120 set. Now I had purchased the 24 pack. At the current time I was in the middle of nowhere teaching ceramics, not drawing and painting. I bought the 24 pack to actually test on satin glazing liquid finish, which and I really like them there. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get the whole shebang, which is not very expensive. In the day, it was like $22 for 120. When you put Crayola color pencils on top of a page treated with satin glazing liquid, they act like Prismacolors. There's a whole video on that somewhere on my channel. Beautiful. They look like Prismacolors, they blend like Prismacolors, but you know, when you're coloring over a satin glazing liquid treated page, it's like coloring on sandpaper, so it really grips the pigment and it really makes it feel, there's a lot of dust created, but yeah, makes it feel and look like a Prismacolor. So no regrets there. Do I reach for these often? No. I like this set, the 120 set, much better than I like the Colors of the World. I don't think they perform very well, although when I swatched them, I mean, they did okay, but oh, it just takes a lot of work, a lot of patience. It hurts your hand. If I were going to have one set, it would just be the Prismacolors. So kind of ish regrets on that, we'll say. Now, I don't have a humongous amount of color pencils like other people do. Like I said, I tend to be more of a minimalist. Less so in my art and coloring stuff, but definitely in my real life, there's hardly anything. So, pastel colored pencils, regret. Don't get them. I was, you know, I believed the reviews I saw online. They're great, they're soft, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, no, not. They're very waxy. They're a beautiful color palette. I'll give them that. Trying to get rid of the glare for you. I would venture to guess, though, that if you colored with the same version of this that's here, that's a darker version, you colored lightly with it, and went over it with either the white or the blender pencil, you could get the same effect. Very rarely reach for those. My Caran d'Ache Pablos that I bought open stock just to try, total regret. Brute Squares, the 120 pack. Beautiful colors. They lack darks. They're mostly just mid-range colors. They have a few lights that are good, but mostly just mid-range colors lacking darks. Total regret. Although I do find that sometimes, you know, on 95% of the papers, the coloring papers that we have, Prismacolors work great. There's that 5% of papers where maybe Prismacolors don't work so great. In that case, I find that the Brute Squares usually work, and the Crayola colored pencils. Derwent Lightfast, bought a few open stock to try, total regret. Caran d'Ache Luminance, bought a few open stock just to try, total regret. If I could sell those, I would. Polychromos, I bought like the, I don't know, 36 pack, I'm guessing. Total regret. I don't like them. Again, sometimes where Prismacolors don't work, they will work. But they are a layering pencil, and, you know, my first professional color pencil that I was able to buy was Prismacolors, and I just got used to smooshing. I'm a smoosher, so we're on to Inktense and my watercolor pencils. So I bought the, I'm guessing it's a 36 set, 24, yeah, probably 36 set here. I did get a few open stock. I didn't change these color pencil things. They're the same from when I originally swatched them. A few open stock. And then on Maya's channel, I saw that she supplemented her Inktense with a few of the lighter Caran d'Ache super colors. So I did the same thing, and I like that. Although I don't use these very often. They're not a regret. I just haven't figured out how to work them in yet. If I'm going to do kind of Inktense watercolor painting, I just kind of like to dip in my, hold on, sorry, there was an alarm going off on my phone. I just kind of like to dip in my watercolors and use it that way. Yeah, so I haven't quite got the hang of those yet. I have used them a little bit. I do like the super colors because you can lay them down, paint with them, but then you can color with them on top. And actually I did that with the Inktense too, although the Inktense gives a funny texture when you do that. All right, so my alcohol marker collection, this is it. It's been pieced together, which I don't like, I'm not crazy about. And what I'm going to do about that, I don't know. So my oldest one is Spree alcohol markers, which I don't think they sell Spree anymore. There are a few gone from here. I need to, that's one of the things I still need to do, sort through and get rid of a couple that have gone bad. Like a lot of these yellows and a lot of these blues. I find, you know, that when you're doing a large space, I can't do a large space with them anymore. But if I need to pick them up, like they need rest in between using or something, if I need to pick them up to do a small space, they still kind of work. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do about those. But yeah, there's a lot in here that are still going strong. A lot have been used. My Ohuhu pastel alcohol markers, once I figured out that I liked these, I bought these. So these are quite old. These are like probably going on 4 years old. I really like these. They have been used to death as well. I probably need to go through here and figure out what I need to get rid of. I am debating if I want to replace these with the Ohuhu alcohol marker system or the Copic alcohol marker system. More research will be involved there. I got these the Shuttle Art Skin Tones. These are a skinny alcohol marker just because I like to do lots of trees and naturey things. And 4 skin tones, although I really don't do people that often. I got the Tao Tree, what is this? 100, maybe the 100 pack? Yeah, probably the 100 pack. Because there was a time when the thick alcohol markers really hurt my hands when I was using them. Something about holding that thick thing. And I thought this would be better. It's not. They just run out more quickly. So again, I'd like one simple system where I can get used to the colors and then just either buy refillable ink or just buy a new marker, one or the other. Because I don't like the hodgepodge, the repeated colors. That just drives me crazy. I just want, you know, one brand to rule them all, basically. There's a Hobby Lobby right by my house. Actually, Joann's, Hobby Lobby, Michael's are all right by my house. It's really awesome now living in an actual city. I do tend to replace, like I said, the yellows here are pretty bad. I've replaced some of those. Some of the blues I've tried to replace here because at Master's Touch, when they go on sale, they're usually 40% off. That makes them about $1. Was it like $1.80, $1.75, somewhere in there, which is pretty reasonable. I think that's what you can get an Ohuhu individual marker for. One time in TJ Maxx or Ross or someplace, I found some Azure alcohol markers that were very marked down, which I got. They seem to be fine. But like I said, it's very much a hodgepodge. I'd like to get rid of that and replace it with one system, one brand, because that's just how I roll. All right, so no regrets with them. I just, yeah, they've all been good. I can't find fault with any of them. They do what they're purported to do. I haven't had any yellowing problems with them, so seems good. These are my gel pens. I'm a big fan of Jelly Roll. I like Jelly Roll a lot. I don't know if I have all of them, but I would like all of them. And I'm a big fan of Pentel Dual Metallic Hybrid. Those are awesome. The rest are okay. I've got a few of the Uniball Signos. I like their gold and silver. I like their white, but you know, halfway through the white, it stops working really well, like you can see here. Well, I can see, you probably can't see it on camera, but it stops working really well and you have to get rid of it. The same seems to be true of this pink. Like I'm halfway through it, but it stopped working really well. But their gold and silver, I seem to be able to use the whole pin up. So yeah, I can't really recommend beyond the gold and silver there. These two I continually buy refills for, or new replacements. Crafter Square is a nice marker. It's not really a gel pen. It's a nice metallic marker. It's not terribly metallic. It's only a little bit shiny, which I really like. But I can't find those anymore. For a while, they stopped carrying some of the colors. There were more colors than this. There was a silver. I don't have that. I want to say there was another color too, but I can't remember. And for a while, they only carried the gold, and then every time I go in, I don't see any Crafter Square markers. So I don't know what happened to those, but I imagine that the few colors I have left, once they're gone, they're gone. What I can't find in Jelly Roll is a beautiful black glittery pen, which I found at a Joann when I lived in the sticks in the middle of nowhere. I found one at Joann's when I was in a town, and they had a beautiful black glittery marker. So I buy those, and there's another color that I liked as well. My friend Sherry sent me her extras of Tau Tree, which is the same black glittery marker. Even it's the exact same barrel and packaging and everything, so I'm sure that's a white labeling situation. But yeah, so I've got quite a stock there from Sherry. These are just, I won a pack of Papermate flares at work, so those are that. I won one Pin and Gear kind of, what is it, those skinny markers, what do they call them? Fine liners, I guess. I'm not a big fan of fine liners. It's like nails on a chalkboard to me. So at some point I did own the Pin and Gear gel pens, because I lived in the middle of nowhere. Those were sold at Walmart, and before I really figured out online buying, I hated them. I hated gel pens. But once I got rid of those and moved into Jelly Roll, I now love gel pens. So yeah, the Pin and Gear gel pens were definitely a regret. I got rid of those fast. They never seemed to work for me. So yeah, I go with the ones that always work. Otherwise, I don't have any. I don't want any other ones that I have to fight with. Jane Davenport pastels. Now, this is just a photocopy of the two, because the swatch is actually in the palette. I'm not a huge fan of pastels. I have used these once, and I remember liking them when I first used them. But that particular page took me like years to finish. It was a whip for a long time, and I don't know what happened. Like, I began not to like it. I didn't fix it. So maybe it just, like, every time I opened and closed the book, I put my hand on it, maybe it just got erased or something. It disappeared. So I don't know if these are a regret or not. Not having them in my swatch book for the 3 years that I've owned them, I hardly ever use them because I don't see them and I don't think of them as an option. Although recently I did get these soft tools, which I would like to try them with. Before I was using just a long eyeshadow applicator and Q-tips and stuff like that. So I would like to give them a try with these things and see. Like I said, I've never been a huge fan of pastel or chalk or oil pastels either. But I want to give them a good shot before I decide if they're a regret buy or not. So I will give them another try before deciding. So I'm undecided on the Jane Davenport pastels. I have some Neocolor 2s. I think I bought the 40 set, and I've supplemented it with a few 12 or 13. I think this is a good working set. I don't use these as often as I would like. I need to really work on these. I don't think these are a regret, though. but we will see in the future. Definitely not a regret. A highly recommend item here is, and I redid the Neocolor 2 swatch because it looked totally hideous. I thought I had it here for you. It vanished though. Just kidding. I guess I don't have it. It's MIA. But yeah, I redid that swatch so it was much nicer. I had originally had it on the little set that, you know, comes in your tin. And then when I bought the extras, like, it was all chaotic. So I had to redo it. The Silky Gel crayons and the Diverse Bee soft gel highlighters, that's what they're called. They're gel crayons. This is a great set. Has the, you know, the basic primary, secondary colors. They're nice and bright. I didn't want to purchase like the Shuttle Art ones or the King Art ones because that would be a lot of repeated colors. I think those both, I think this is a 36 set. Those are like a 48 set or something. So I would have gotten a few more colors, but as I said, minimalists don't like extra things hanging around the house that are repeats. Not for me. Takes up space in my brain. I wanted something that was different, and this fit the bill exactly. These are great. So they're gel crayons. They're called gel highlighters. I don't know why, but they are light versions that are not here. This less light, but none of these colors are actually repeats. They're close, but they're not repeats. So great buys. Highly recommend both of these products. I love them. And my theory when I got them, and I've tried it a couple times, I need to try it some more, is that the Silky Gel crayons can be treated almost exactly like oil pastels. And that was actually the first experiment I did with the Silky Gel crayons. I need to experiment with that more because I keep thinking Maya's almost got me talked into the oil pastels, but do I want something extra hanging around the house if this will do the same thing? I really don't. So I need to experiment with that. But these are highly recommended, very valued. Every time I use them, I feel like they turn out really good. So I like them a lot. I've added this is a photocopy here. These are my water-based markers. Nope, not my watercolors. I have gone crazy with the watercolors. We have extra things hanging around that shouldn't be hanging around. But, you know, sometimes it happens. My first set was the Mei Liang watercolors. I really rather like those. They're not all used up yet. They're still going strong. So I actually bought those before I started coloring because I'm like, I'm going to take up watercolor. Yeah, I didn't have the time or energy to figure out watercoloring for how it works for myself. But I'm starting to get there. So there could be more watercolor in my future, a lot more. Somebody gifted me this. This is the Koi watercolor. I think it's like the travel set. So I didn't actually buy that, but it's nice. It's cute. If I were traveling somewhere, I'd probably throw that in there, definitely. I purchased the Derwent Graphite and the Derwent Pastel. I don't think these are regrets. I haven't used them enough to know, but I think they're good. I have my wonderful, highly recommend White Nights Granulating Watercolor. I got the two sets. I got the Earth Color set, the one that has all the purples. It looks like the Galaxy set or something. And then I have 3 individual ones that were not in either of those sets. So those are here. In the back here, I have more where I made them actually granulate to refer to. And I also have a palette in the actual, I have the swatches in the actual palette where I made them granulate more as well. I dropped them into water basically. So I have 3 different like versions of the swatches. You can make them look just like watercolors without granulating. You can make them granulate. There's a lot of choices with this. It's awesome. A few individual things I bought were some Van Gogh. Those are in tubes. You watched me decant those, which was a whole process. So a whole messy process. This is my favorite watercolor color though. It's azomethine or some long word like that. Green yellow. Oh, it's the most awesome color. It's like the loveliest. It's like lime peel in Prismacolors. It's like the best color ever. I find myself finding uses for it. So yeah, I have a few just kind of like one-offs. And I'm debating. You know me, I want one set that rules them all. When I get through my Mailiang colors, I don't know if I want to purchase the Cotman set, or I have the old Mailiang ones where they're not individually wrapped. They were stuck in like a plastic thing, so they don't have their individual pans, although I have my own individual pans. So I'm not sure if I want to purchase the Cotman set, because then as I use up the colors, I can just get a replacement. Or I just want to go the tube method and make my own palette. So I'm not sure about that. But yeah, this hodgepodge of many different colors kind of drives me crazy a little bit. But ooh, these granulating watercolors are so worth it. Other watercolors, kind of different watercolors. These are more gouache almost. I have the Collegiate Metallic Watercolors. That is not spelled right. The Art Philosophy Metallic Pastel Metallic Watercolors. This same set here, it says Collegiate, but you can get the same set as Art Philosophy. It's a white labeling situation. These seem very good to me. They're very reasonably priced. They seem like a mid-range option. I've heard some people complain about the lower priced ones. People rave about the expensive ones. I can't remember what they're called. There's Fine Tech and something else. I don't know what it's called. I don't have those. These seem very fine to me. I would recommend them. I'm not going to replace them until they're all used up. When they're all used up, maybe I will purchase individual ones in those. That one of the name, I can't remember. Anyways, moving on. They seem totally fine. Gansai Tambi Opal. I don't know. You know, living in a city, I got distracted by, there's such good stuff in Michael's, and I bought those on a whim. I do like them because you can't see it because of the glare, but they are different than here when they're alone. When you put them on top of the black, some are very similar to what I already have, but I did want some that, you know, are kind of like white for like snow and stars and stuff like that. And the Gansai Tambi Granulating Watercolors, awesome, awesome, awesome. I don't know which is better. They're both awesome. The Gansai Tambi mixes, I would say they probably take these and mix them, and then you get more of a granulation. I have many more swatches of them, and they're granulating. It didn't seem to do it here. But like I said, I wanted them in here so that when I'm flipping, I use this all the time. I flip through here for ideas on what I can use for various things in my coloring. So I use them all the time. So yeah, I wanted them in the book. I finally opened up my Distress inks and swatched them. Now I have to actually use them, so I can't say one way or the other if those are awesome or not. They seemed cool when they went down, unlike anything I've ever used. So interesting. This is my acrylic paint markers and pens. So, the all-time best thing I have here is the Ohuhu acrylic paint pens. I don't know if they come like this anymore, but they came in the little black bag. I still have the little black bag. 4 years. These are still going strong. Of course, I have used a few of them up. I never wash my nibs. Sometimes I scrape them on a paper and peel off the paint, or I dip them in water and I take a paper towel and get all the paint off when I'm using them. Otherwise, I just throw the lid on them. They're indestructible. Sometimes and I've put them through the paces too. Sometimes I've been so mad at them, like it wasn't flowing or whatever, and I bang them on the table, and they're indestructible. Yeah, that doesn't get shown on the channel. Me losing it on the pins. Yeah, these have been awesome. I would totally get these again, and I probably should because mine are getting pretty like low and scary. I know the white is gone. The white was awesome. Best white I probably ever. The black is really awesome. I think there's a little bit left of the black. Most of these have just a tiny bit left in them, so I have to decide if I want to purchase these again or if I want to go with the Thule and have more colors. What I should really get is probably get a set of the Thule and see if they're as awesome as these are, but these have been fabulous, my favorite ones. I like them more than the Posca ones. I'm not sure if my set of Poscas are counterfeit. This was, I got a whole bunch. I don't know, maybe it was 20 or so. 21, a set of 21 maybe. Some of these are, some weren't in the set, so I purchased them separately. Those seem a little better than these ones that I purchased. So I don't know. It was a third-party seller on Amazon. I'm not sure. It didn't occur to me until recently, you know, now that I've owned them like 2.5 years. But they're pretty much the same nib size as these, but I like these better. These colors are pretty, but yeah, I like these better. I just want more colors though. Now, the Arctic's acrylic markers. Let me show you what those look like. They're these. I hate them. I regret buying them. They're awful. Now, I think I saw them on Wendy's channel, maybe. I don't know. I can't remember way back then. No, Wendy saw them on my channel and she bought them. Sorry, got that backwards. Now, it seems like Wendy and Maya love these. I don't like them at all. How I've described them for years was if, you know, if these kind of paint markers here had a baby with water-based markers, you know, regular water-based markers, it would be like these. And I still hold to that. Although this is more leaning towards the side of the water-based markers. So that would be sister number 1, the older sister. Haven't quite perfected the thing yet. Yeah, I never liked them. I use them here and there, and they're still here. My goal is to use them up and get rid of them and have them out of my house. Now, what I thought I was buying was these. Again, if water-based markers and paint markers had a baby, it would be these. Although these lean more towards the paint marker side. So that's younger sister. Sister number 2. These are wonderful. I haven't used them enough yet, but I want to. These are lovely. Which do I like better? I still like my original paint pens better. Just because they're more like actual acrylic paint. These are they're called liquid ink. They're more like ink. But like I said, I played with them quite a bit when I first got them, and I haven't since then, and I need to. So we're going to reserve that for another time. Recently, well, not recently, I bought them quite some time ago. I showed them in a haul. It was like my massive 4-month haul a long time ago. But I finally got them out and swatched them. There was this place going out of business, and I was able to get quite a few good buys. These are the small nibs. I bought the medium nib. These are the bigger nibs. But they had darks, and it's a really fat nib. It's wonderful. It will be great for doing backgrounds. They have the darks, which are beautiful colors. I swatched those. They have, oh my gosh, can you see how pretty those are? The metallics. But like I said, that's a massive nib on those. But those are gorgeous colors. Gorgeous. If I'd have known they were so beautiful, I would have swatched them many moons ago. Also, a thing I bought way back when I was busy, and now I'm not busy, so I have time to do things. I bought this at, I think it was Hobby Lobby. I got it out here. I saved the packaging for you, but now it's going to go in the trash because we don't save packaging. These are iron lac. I don't know how to say that. I bought them because I'm like, I bet these are colors I don't have in the color sets that I have here that I like. And they're a 3M, whereas these are like a 1M, I think. I could be wrong. These are smaller. These are a little bigger. They went on beautifully. The colors are different than what I have here, different than anything over there, so that's nice. I think these are very promising. I did notice that when I was doing the swatch, they didn't tear up the paper as much as these, and even these less. The nib is bigger here, so it's less. But I mean, once you get the paper wet, it becomes dangerous. So these are nice. I might have to do some research and see if I can find these in other colors. But this was like, I don't know, they had this somewhere in Hobby Lobby, I think, on some random trip. I think I showed that in my big 4-month haul too. Again, you know, same with the paint marker situation. I'd like one big set that has a bunch of colors that I could just then buy open stock. Although I don't think that's a thing anywhere. Open stock acrylic paint markers. I'm not sure that's a thing. That's the dream though. So like I said, highly recommend. No. For my purposes, I don't like them. These are good. Posca's good. I'm not sure about mine. They don't have enough colors. So, up next on my list may be to try the Thule Arts. So, we'll save that for another day. My Apple Barrel Matte acrylic paint. Love it. These are the ones I have. Seems like a good set. Every once in a while when I'm in Walmart, I pick up another color. This is much less chaotic than it was. Some of these swatches of mine had just gotten like, this was my gel pen swatch. Like, how can you find anything on that? Cannot find anything on that. As they have grown over the years, they just got a little out of control and out of order. So it was nice. It's nice to get them in color order because I can see it's like, oh, this is a beautiful, from white to browns and to black. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. I don't think we need to make any changes there. Seems like we might need some greens maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm not going to race out and purchase anything. I have a few. Love these. Highly recommend those. Less easy to work with over here, but I do like them. I like these are folk arts. I have the color shifts. I've got some metallics. The glitterifics are particularly hard to work with, but I will tell you the secret. Scoop some out with a palette knife. Very difficult to get out. Put it in a little throwawayable cup. Add some water to it. Stir it up. They go on beautifully. That's the trick. I love the dragonfly glazes, especially since recently I've been showing it on my channel all the time. They're just a shiny, glittery goodness in acrylic form, so it's permanent rather than, say, the ones that are watercolor that, you know, if you drip water on them, it's kind of sad. These will be a permanent thing. You don't have to fix it or anything. I tint them with water-based markers and watercolor paint so that they're still shiny, but then they have a slight tint to them too. They do have a slight tint to them, but not enough sometimes. Sometimes you want like a little yellow in there, a little green or whatever. So that's my latest trick, and now I use them a lot more. And then I have my Himi jelly gouaches. I have, I don't know, the regular set and the pastel set. They're awesome. I like them. I haven't used them enough to know if I love them. But right now I like them. I'm not as good at them as I am at acrylic paint. But every time I use them, I see the potential. So I really just need to practice with them. Other regrets are the 4 stickles I bought many, many moons ago and the liquid pearls that I bought many, many moons ago. I've used 1 stickle, I think, and 1 liquid pearls in a very limited capacity. So that is it. Almost all of my art supplies are in here. There's just some acrylic paints that are for the gel plate that are not. I just bought a starter set, so I'm not gonna bother swatching those. I'll eventually replace those with bigger tubes of paint. I like the heavy body paint for the gel plate. So that is my minimal swatch book. Let me know if you have any questions or anything I can answer for you. This is how I like to set it up, and like I said, I kind of just I like the one thing and one and done kind of thing for the most part. So yeah. All right, I thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful new year. Live long and prosper. Bye-bye.